Very pleased with that.
I thought it was an outstanding performance. I think some of the things that we spoke about from last weekend's game and then had to transfer it to this weekend's game, I thought we applied really well. And defensively, I thought that was just brilliant. And probably towards the end, we just, we made the sub rule, and the sub come on and play, and then Thornton gets that knock to the eye, and so we had to look after him. But we were one down and run out a little bit of steam at the end. But I thought it was a great result for the team.
What's the verdict on?
He's got a knock. He's hit like a blood vessel or something, so it popped up straight away. But we'll assess it, at the hospital, and we'll find out more. But hopefully it's all right. He seems okay. He seemed fine, but we just didn't take the risk, knowing that if there was something there. But we think it should be fine.
Do you know whether he'll be able to fly home?
That's what we'll find out. So we'll get all the information, and we'll go from there.
The TV said he was picked up by an ambulance. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it was more precautionary to make sure that we look after him, and while we have that facility, we'll use it. So better than jumping in a car and buzzing over. May as well use what you have.
Games seem to be really on the terms that you wanted to play them. What a run, particularly the ball's coming out of Freo's forward line very quickly.
Yep.
Skill level must have been really pleased with the way the ball was coming out.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I suppose it's a challenge when you come to Perth and other venues and you take a running team versus a team with a little bit more height, and if they mark it and you don't get it to ground, you look foolish. But today I thought the pressure around the ball allowed us to get the ball to ground and really put some pressure on the kickers. And I thought our team defence and then our ability to run offensively and get Yaron and these types into the game was very, very good and very exciting.
Was it as good a team defensive performance as you've had all year on?
Yeah, I think it was right up there. I thought the assistance and probably even the communication, at ground level was very good. Players were really assertive to each other to make sure that we got things in place and to adhere by that under, I suppose, with the temperature going from Melbourne's nice 13 degrees, but over here was a bit hotter today. So, under that fatigue and that environment with a crowd that's quite hostile, I thought the players applied themselves brilliantly.
You were pretty decisive in the wins and the clearances. How important was that battle for them?
I thought it was, if the opposition are going to mark the ball or have, some really one-on-ones and have that opportunity to hurt you on a fast break, centre bounces are the key to that. So I thought early on in the game, Judd and co were just brilliant in there. And, some of Chris's possessions weren't clean early in the game, and that evolved as the game went on. But I thought his work inside early and ended up with 8 clearances and 34 possessions was just brilliant play.
What did you make of the matchup with Chris Mayne?
We weren't really surprised. I think Mayne, we watched last week and at the game watching Mayne play on Goddard, and so I think some of those tasks have been thrown to individuals at their football club, which is great for the individual's growth. Players can really learn from playing on players like that. Over time I've played Gibbs on Hurd when he played. Murphy's played on other types, Brent Harvey at times in there early when I first started coaching. So throwing challenges to players to play on the elite players of the competition actually allows them to know what they have to do to get to that stage. And Chris Mayne's a very good player and will be for a long time, but he'll learn a few things of what Judd did and take those tricks and apply them into his pre-season next year and his games going forward. So I think it's great education for those types.
It's a great sign as well that you often can get the goals you need when challenged. Judd at the start of the third quarter, Andrew Walker after the siren, those type of goals were really valuable today.
Yeah, they were. I thought we really squandered a couple of easy ones early in the game when we could have really allowed ourselves a bit more breathing space. But that's the way the footy gods look at it, and the way the momentum goes. So we just had to keep battling away. But I thought the last maybe 8-9 minutes of the game, we fell away maybe just with the rotations and the run. But pretty much for the whole game, I was ecstatic on how we played.
In terms of defensive pressure, is that as good as you've been all year?
It'd be right up there. I thought it was the first half was outstanding in some of the individual acts that players had, and I suppose sometimes football can say you're outnumbered or you get the extras or whatever. Sometimes you have to go and win some big defining moments in games. And when you reflect on some of the plays that there was, like Joseph's, he halves that contest in the goal square with a couple of players and he just fights and scrap. They're defining moments in the game. Dygan leaves his man to impact the contest, Stephen Hill running forward. They're just big plays in the game, and there only might be 10 to 15 of them, but if you get the ledger on your side, it usually says that you'll win the game.
How about next week? How will you go for Wade and possibly Michael Jamison?
Well, Jamison looks like he'll probably play, so that'll be fantastic for us. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Thornton, and Wade will be an assess. I suppose he's a day by day, a bit like Jamo, but Jamo's probably made a bit more improvement last week, but I don't know what's happened since Thursday, Friday and then today with his rehab, so we'll find out a bit more in Melbourne.
How important is it to get Wade settled before the finals, though, in that sort of key forward role, or is it as important now, seeing as you seem to be scoring quite freely at the moment?
I think just if you can get your best players back on the field, I think that's pretty critical, especially at this end of the season. So, if we can get Wade and Jamison back, great. If we can only get Jamison back, we'll have to wait and see. But, I think we'll get both back.
Creative, keep an ear out what happens today. Hawthorn, what did you make of it?
What happened?
160 points in the end.
Okay. I knew that our reserves won by 10, which I was pretty pleased with. And Kane Lucas had 29 and Satandero helping kick 2 goals. So, I didn't hear that other score, but I'm not really worried about that. We'll look at Hawthorn when we get back into Melbourne on Monday.
Can you just briefly talk a bit about the ladder pressure with West Coast breathing down your neck and how the players responded to that pressure?
We're not worried about what West Coast do. They can do what they want. We can only control what we can control. And that's probably been our motto this year, really, is we can have a look, outside, and if this happened and that happened, we might cheer for the opposition if you're watching the game, but overall we're not that fussed what happens. We've just got to make sure that, we look at what's happening at, with West Coast and Hawthorn and these teams, we actually take our eye off the footy, and that's our performance, and that's what we need to get right before the finals.